Well, this is what happens when you're in the Europa League and everybody that's bidding for him is in the Champions League. What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 43 of If I Had a Hammer. If you're still enjoying the series, please go ahead and hit that like button. Lets me know that you're still interested. Now, it's the start of the 6th season here at West Ham United, and funnily enough, our very first match is against Tottenham Hotspur, our most heated rivals. Well, of course, before we get to that, we must go over how we fared in the off-season. A lot of transfers both in and out, and if you saw in the open, one player that I'm not happy we were forced into getting rid of. Yes, Vincent van der Drisha is gone and packed his bags and moved to the north side of town, going to the Gunners for £40 million, a whopping fee, and is a record fee for West Ham, which isn't all that bad, but at the same time, I wish I would have kept him on. He was making $3.5 million. Arsenal came in and said, you know what, we'll double that contract if you want to come and play for us. And he, as you can see, accepted, which means that his mindset is more about making money if his skills allow it. And to be quite honest with you, I made him an offer too. It wasn't quite as big, so obviously his mind and heart was following the money. So Vincent van der Drisha gone, which leaves a big gap at that right attacking mid spot. The next two players that we sold have been snapped up by Liverpool, and to be quite honest with you, didn't think that Liverpool would come in for both of these players, but at the end of the day, they have gone and gotten Julian Dessart and Sam Byram. Julian Dessart going away for £15 million, Sam Byram for $11 million. Both of them going to Liverpool and making roughly around the same amount of money as they were making here at West Ham. But as you saw, Julian Dessart definitely on their full strength side, Sam Byram on their under 21s, which is a little weird. I mean, they pay £11 million for a right back, a right winger, and they stick him automatically in the under 21s, which means that Liverpool wasted their money. But I got £11 million out of it, so it's something. I can turn around and buy someone new. I did say I was going to get rid of center backs at the end of last season because they were letting me down so much during the last half of the season, and Tommy Hoban was the first to hit the chopping block. He has gone to Bayern Munich, who came in and bid £9 million for him, and he is now obviously at the German side. He is still 26 years old. He still has a good skill set on him, but I needed to upgrade to someone better. So at least I got £9 million out of him. At least I got something out of him, more than what I originally paid for. This man, Jack Butland, raised a ton of hell for me since the January transfer window. He wanted to move away to a club that was playing in the Champions League, and it all came to a head during this offseason as we unfortunately had to sell him to Manchester United for £7.5 million. Now, I was bringing in a goalkeeper during this offseason, more so as a backup to Jack Butland, but since Butland had been moved away, he'd been moved on to Manchester United, I had to go and scramble to find a secondary goalkeeper because, as you'll find out later, Alex McCarthy is gone too. Which isn't ideal because if I had known that Jack Butland was going to go away, I would have kept Alex McCarthy on as the backup, but at this point in time, I had already sold him off to West Brom for £1.2 million, and I really didn't have anybody in the pipeline in the academy to come and take over that backup role. So like I said, that's what forced me to scramble to pick up a second goalkeeper in the ins that you will be seeing in later. So Zach Kloff's turned out to be a gigantic waste of money, no thanks to Lucas Teodorczyk and Joel Polian just blowing the hinges off of the striker role here at West Ham. Zach Kloff was loaned out twice and ultimately was sold out to Burnley for £5 million. We had originally brought him in for 7.25, so that was a really sad loss on our part, but I didn't see Zach Kloff getting any sort of play time here at the club, so it was better just to move him on. And finally, since he was never going to get any sort of center backing time here at the club, one of the hottest prospects in the game, Reece Oxford, didn't develop as much as I wanted to. I eventually sold him off to QPR for £2.5 million. The 21-year-old is still going to be a solid center back, to be quite honest with you, but he just isn't good enough to be an elite Premier League center back. He's going to be an elite championship side center back or a lower level Premier League center back. He's just not good enough to match up with the likes of Lucas, of Callum Chambers, and the such. So off he goes, he's at QPR, and we were able to make at least a little bit of money from him. So after all that, we had brought in a total £91 million to the club. That is certainly going to be a record, but now who are we going to replace with for Vincent van der Drisha, Tommy Hoban, Jack Butland, Julian Dessart? I mean, it can't be done, can it? Well, I think it certainly did, because this guy was a guy I wanted to bring in for the last couple years. Jack Grealish, we have brought him on from Aston Villa for a total of £22 million, and I originally took a look at his Polygon, and I immediately thought of Sebastian Driussi. I did a little bit of a comparison. He may be a little weaker, a little bit lower in aerial and defensive stats, but other than that, everything else matches up with Sebastian completely, and I feel very comfortable, very confident that Jack Grealish is going to live up to the money that I spent on him. I feel that he is going to flourish here at West Ham and rekindle the spark out on that right wing side, living up to the names of Zivkovic, of Van Andriesche. I wholly feel that Jack Grealish is the perfect pickup for this team. Now let me tell you, Tommy Hoban is definitely not going to be missed after this center back pickup. Enzo Rocco is coming in from Newcastle for a fee of £9 million. The 27-year-old Chilean, not bad whatsoever. He's got some great height to him. He's got great jumping reach, great heading, and his tackling stats, his defensive stats in general, are nothing to be scoffed at. 17 marking, 16 tackling, 16 positioning. His pace is okay. The rest of his physicals even better. So I'm really hoping Enzo Rocco is going to break into this side and become a prime-time player. While Julian Dessart has gone to Liverpool and Mark Noble is starting to wind down his career, you would have thought John Suter would have been the honorable heir to the West Ham throne, but no, I have brought on Thiago Maia from Santos for a fee of £7 million to try and give Suter a kick in the rear to actually get his game up and to try and better him. But Thiago Maia, definitely not a bad defensive mid as is. I mean, 16 marking, 16 tackling, 15 positioning. He's got some good passing too, so he can play and develop the play out of the back. He's got some good pace on him. He's not too tall. He's not going to win very many aerial battles, but if you stick him in front of a guy, he will more often than not take him off the ball. So like I said, Thiago Maia and John Suter are definitely going to fight out for the starting defensive back position. So the first of our two goalkeeper acquisitions is Mickey van der Hart. We have brought him in from Norwich for a fee of £7 million. The 26-year-old Dutchman, fairly solid in pretty much all defensive abilities, all goalkeeper abilities. The only thing I don't like about him is his pace is a little on the slow side, 12 and 11 acceleration, but I can look past that. Everything else looks fairly decent as a goalkeeper, but he wasn't my first choice goalkeeper, to be quite honest with you. I had brought in someone else, and here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mr. Bartłomiej Dragowski. The 22-year-old Pole has come in from Barcelona for a fee of £4.8 million. Now, he was on Barcelona, but he obviously wasn't getting any playtime behind Marc-Andre ter Stegen, so he was valued at £10 million. They offered him out for $5 million. I countered that with 4.8, and they said, yeah, go and take him. We're not using him anyway. So he is definitely going to be my first choice keeper. Once again, not very fast, but his shot stopping ability, he is also more eccentric than Mickey, which I'm starting to play more of a sweeper keeper type role, trying to develop that role, and Bartłomiej fits that area perfectly. So he's definitely going to be my starting keeper. Yeah, I'm going to rotate Mickey in as well, but Dragowski is going to be the number one guy. So now that I feel I'm pretty much done with the transfers for this transfer window, let's take a look at the finances and see where we stand there. We are a tad under £52 million in the bank. We've made a profit this month, and overall with the season so far, the season's so young, we have made just under $16 million. That's more so because of the Vincent Van Andriesche transfer than it is anything else. As you probably would have guessed, that is the net plus between transfers out and transfers in. So we're already making black, but we need to continue to make more money if we want to be more financially stable. As you can see, last season we lost £18 million. Let's try and not do that this season. So now that all the preseason admin stuff is done, let's get into our first match of the season against our heated rivals in Spurs, going to New White Hart Lane. And as you can see, we're no longer using the anchor. I've dropped it back, and we're playing with what I'm deeming the cross, because if you take a look at it, it looks like a cross stuck in the ground. It's basically dropping the fullbacks back to the flat back four, and be quite honest with you, I think that was part of the reason why we were conceding so many goals at the end of last season. In fact, not just the end of last season, but throughout the season. It's because we were playing our fullbacks in a wingback area, and then one, they weren't too comfortable with it, and two, they were pushing so far up that any ball placed back behind them, they only had two defenders to take them on. So we're using a flat back four in this formation. We're still going with the straight line defensive mid, center mid, attacking center mid, just because I'm not really too confident about playing much wider than that. Try and play it out through the middle, and if not, you have your wide players, your wingers up front that you can clear it up to. So let's take a look at the starting lineup. Dragowski is going to be in net. Shaw, Lucas, Lindelof, and Chambers along the back line. Of course, I have Enzo Rocco on the bench as a super sub just in case, because let's be honest with you, he still needs to get used to the system. Our defensive mid is going to be Thiago Maia on the day, not John Suter, not Mark Noble, Thiago Maia. I feel like he is going to be a primetime player, and I'm playing him in a regista role, which is a little bit more of a deep lying playmaker on overdrive, so he can do deep lying playmaker type of abilities, as well as push the ball forward and act as a second center mid in times of need. As you can also see, Yuri Tielemans is in that lone center mid spot. Our three attacking mids, Driussi, Vandenbroek, and Grealish, and Joel Poyampalo is sitting up front in a complete forward role this time around. Yes, once again, Teodorczyk and Poyampalo are going to be in a rotation style. Want to give Poyampalo the run out today just to finish up his fine form that he had at the end of last season, or at least continue it on, hopefully. So let's kick off, cross fingers. We start off the season well, but still 37 more matches if we don't. So let's kick off and see what happens. I do feel like playing the narrow stick formation may hurt us in the center of the park, but defensively, we need to do a lot better, as we're seeing right here. It was a good save from Dragowski and a good clearance away. However, Spurs with the ball and with a corner just 5 minutes in. We need to do very well on these corner tactics if we want to get anything out of this season. It's another corner for Spurs coming inside. Harry Kane, it's a good save and a good clearance off the line. Harry Kane almost getting a goal, but a good clearance from the center back that was marking the post. I do feel like Spurs are going to be a prime team over the next couple of seasons because they have Harry Kane. They have Christian Tello, as Christian Tello scores a goal here. They have Dele Alli. They have Bentaleb. I mean, Spurs are a team in this game that are sitting on the cusp of top four, sitting on the cusp of greatness. They just need to throw it all together and make it work. As you can see here, there was some great passing on the inside. Bruno Fernandes slipping through to Christian Tello. Honestly, did not think he was onside, but at the same time, we need to start marking these guys a lot better. 15 minutes gone. It has been all one-way traffic, and that one-way traffic is going to Spurs. Ball coming in. Harry Kane off the post, and he almost makes it two. I feel like we need to do a lot better with our passing because we're heading it down. We're trying to gain possession, but we're heading it down either too hard or we're heading it down directly into a Tottenham player because they have just been all over the possession here, and we need to do something about it. Corner coming in, Halilovic trying to get inside to Toby, but it's a good clearance away. Tottenham are doing very well to utilize their wing play. We just do not have anybody closing them down. I don't understand why. I mean, I'm surprised my fullbacks aren't closing them down, and that's an own goal for Lindelof because, well, whenever we've been playing Spurs the last 3 years, it's always been one mistake after another. Doesn't matter what tactic I use, doesn't matter how I line people up. There's just something wrong, and that was a nice little Chris Smalling header into the back of the net to make it 2-0. This is a legitimate question. I mean, why can't we play against Spurs? And it's not like just because they're our opponents we're starting to shy away. I legitimately think that they are our bogey team. We just cannot get a result against them, be it in the league, in the cup, in anything. Well, strike that. I think we've gotten only one result against them in the 5 years that I've managed this club. It's just really, really hard to get any result versus Spurs. The best I can get here is to see if we can get a goal, because getting 2 goals in these next 45 is, I feel, too big of an ask. So I'm just going to yell at my players, say, you know, why are you doing so badly against this team? And hopefully in the second half we can come back and strike lucky with one. All right, 6 minutes into the half, maybe we can cobble together some sort of attack. Driussi can't get by Luchkovic. I don't understand why. He tried taking him on and tried just throwing it past him. I have no idea, but we get the ball back. Driussi now coming up the left wing, tries to get into the box, goes for FIFA sweat, and Jack Grealish on his debut crosses it in front of the goal mouth. Driussi does, and Grealish is there. I honestly thought it was going to go with Vandenbroek, but Vandenbroek couldn't get a foot on Jack Grealish right there. Look at that. Oh, it actually bounced off a defender, and Jack Grealish there for the put away. It's his first goal in a Hammer shirt, and we're back in this game, 2-1. All right, next possession, we have the ball. Tielemans flipping it out to Grealish. Grealish getting inside of Poyampalo, but he's got 3 white shirts sitting in front of him. Can't really do much. Lays it off to Tielemans, out to Driussi. We can put in a different cross. Oh my God, he took a shot! Driussi takes a shot and we knot the match up at 2 apiece. Within a span of 5 minutes, we have gone from 2-0 down to 2-all. Let's go, boys. Look at this. A great pass from Timo Mullins into Driussi, taking a shot. Honestly, didn't think it was going to go in. Thought that Hugo Lloris was going to stop it. But instead finds the back of the net, and we made a game out of it. Not a lot of time left. I mean, since that last goal, there has not been a single highlight. I have had it on extended, but there just has not been anything. I speak too soon, though. With a minute left to go in stoppage time, the ball gets thrown out. Spurs with the ball, looking to try and find a match winner. After if we have come back, they're looking to find a winner, but Harry Kane cannot head that on. Dragowski there with a nice save. On the first match of the season, there it is. Ref blows full-time whistle. Spurs 2, Hammers 2. I honestly can't believe it. I thought that first goal from Driussi to Grealish was absolutely beautiful. I thought that was all we were going to get. And then Driussi putting it in on the short side over the goalkeeper, which I thought Lloris should have done a lot better. And we come away with a point, a very miraculous point at that. So let's go and now calm down a bit and take a look at the schedule and see when we'll be coming back next. So this is what the schedule looks like in the future, and in almost exactly a month's time, we will be playing our first Europa League group match of the season, and I really want to try and focus on that, so we'll be coming back at that point in time. We'll also open the episode with the Europa League draw. We have Everton, Liverpool, and West Brom in the league leading up to that. You'd think we should get a result in 2 of those 3 matches, but you never know. Football is weird. So when we come back, first match of the Europa League group stage, as well as the draw on the pre-show. So until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go and hit that like button. And lets me know that you're still interested. And subscribe if you're new and you want to see more FM content on the channel. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else at all, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.